Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Indigo, your real world alpha, and I'm back with another video on Plume. What are we going to be looking at today? We're going to be looking at the market cap, of course. I know you see in the charts, of course, we got to start with a little bit of a technical analysis recap, all right? This way we can see where we are on the charts. I know a lot of you people, a lot of you guys, you watch these videos, all you're interested in is, should I buy now? Should I sell? Etc. But we're going to get into the market cap in just a bit. I just want us to have a quick look at the technical analysis and just see where we are on the charts. So currently we are at the previous week value area high, and that's at 1112. And yeah, and somewhat above the previous week point of control, which sits at 1039. This is as of today, Monday, the 22nd of June. But we will have a more detailed video on the technical analysis later on during the week. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you do not miss these videos when they come out. But let's get into why we're here, right? Let's have a look at the market cap, right? I promise this is going to be this is probably going to be like one of the best videos that we've done so far. There's like so much that I want to get into, so many exciting things, you know what I mean? But where we at with the market cap? Over the last 7 days, we're down 4.2%. Our total market cap right now is $66,348,927. We're just gonna look at the last 7-day price history. As you can see, today that market cap reads 65,327,188. Please also just note that this is before the close, all right? So that's why we have the market cap here at 66,348,927. And and here on the last 7-day, the price history over the last 7 days is at $65,327,188. Of course, this is before the close, so we're going to have a full read of the market cap by then. But then if we're going back just like a week, we can see a week ago on the 15th, we were at 62,074,706. All right. On the 16th, we had a pretty big spike up in in volume, up to 14,926,507, up from 7.3 million. So yeah, so I mean, the volume does seem to be picking up, which is always a positive thing, right? You wanna see volume in whatever asset you're holding, in whatever asset that you are trading. We are gonna look at a quick chart over here on Plume. Of course, again, we're at 1111. Make a wish. We did have a little look at the at the technical analysis, just so we get a full understanding as to where we are. And we do understand that, like, currently right now we are sitting above the previous week value area high. A quick one now, just like looking at other projects that are similar to Plume. By projects similar to Plume, really what we're looking at is we're looking at other RWA-esque projects, okay? Ondo is down negative 14.25%, More4 down 7.91%. I'm going to pronounce this Aether, down 6.47%, Walrus down 2.58%, Bitsensor down 15.64%, and Avantis down 7.23%. Of course, again, always going to look at Arkham. Our total asset value here is down negative 1.44%. There wasn't much that I could actually find over here with the transfers, even though I've like refreshed this page a couple of times. I think there might be something that's happening with their platform, or was happening with their platform earlier. But I mean, like, looking at it right now in real time, no major transfers for us to really be concerned about, as far as just like the amount of volume in the millions or in the mid to late 100,000s. All right, so that's pretty much it with the market cap stuff specifically on Plume. We are going to just have a look at BlackRock. Also, BlackRock total asset value down 5.63% in the last 30 days. That's a total asset value of $2,370,254,880 $3. The holders at 109, up 3.81% from the last 30 days. And the 7-day APY is down 3.45% in the last 7 days. So yeah, so I mean, we always make sure that we have a look at the other assets that surround Plume, right? Other RWA esque assets, right? I mean, like BlackRock is really, if you think about it, if you do your research, you will find out that BlackRock is one of the biggest asset managers, if not the biggest asset manager in the world right now, and they are involved in the RWA space. So we're always gonna want to see what's going on with them, as a leader, I guess, quote unquote, in the space. But now, specifically, just to have a look at Plume on RWA. .xyz. We haven't actually done this, so this is going to be a first time for this segment, right? Where's our distributed asset value? We are at 110 million, down 82.32% from the last 30 days. Represented asset value at 33.4 million, down 5.32% from the last 30 days. RWA holders down 1.67%. They currently sit at 249,390. Stablecoin market cap at 11.74 million. RWA count 210. And that's the number of RWAs assets that they have on their network. On their blockchain rather, and yeah, but I mean, like, look at this. This is, as much as we have like all of these seemingly glaring negative values, negative 82%, negative 5.32%, negative 37.96%, negative 1.67%, negative 2.98%. What's always interesting to me, as you know, is the volume. Even though everything seems to be down, our our RWA 30-day transfer volume is up 937% in the last 30 days. That's 519 million. The stablecoin transfer, 30-day transfer volume is at 361.1 million. And that's 104% up in the last 30 days. I always find, anything that's to do with volume, I'm always going to give a second look. You can see over here on RWA.xyz, you can see some of the assets that they actually have on their blockchain. We are going to have a look at something that I thought was like really interesting. I just wanted to see from the assets that are currently managed on there, having a look. If we just get onto the next tab, having a look at one of these assets that they currently manage, right? This is an asset that's on RWA, they've put it under diversified credit, so this is Anemoy Tokenized Apollo Diversified Credit Fund. Which is a regulated blockchain native investment vehicle that provides qualified investors with exposure to Apollo's diversified credit platform. Okay, so if you are looking at diversifying your investments, maybe perhaps you've come across this name. But I always find it interesting, anytime I get into a project, I always like to see who's involved in it, and who are these people actually, working with, and which people, which companies, which investors per se, or asset managers in this case, trust this project that I am looking into and that I am invested in, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, when we come at it and we just look at, again, we just look at the market cap, we're like, oh, okay, cool, that's down negative 4.2%. But over here, this is a diversified credit fund, which is being managed which is on the Plume blockchain, right? And its total asset value is up 0.17% in the last 30 days, with a total asset value of 33.2 million, right? Currently 5 holders, the management fee of 0.5%. So I mean, you can come onto RWA and have a look at these, have a look at some of these projects yourself, but if not, you can just trust me to do that for you. So okay, so that's Anemoy Tokenized Apollo Diversified Credit Fund. And then I also wanted to have a look at Centrifuge, because I did see it. If we go back over here, all right? This is the platform associated with this credit fund, right? So, I mean, again, this is on the Plume Network. So, what is Centrifuge? The leading platform for tokenized financial products, brings the full power of on-chain finance to asset managers and investors. All right, look at this. Distributed asset value up 12.25% from the last 30 days. So, total distributed asset value of 1.62 billion. It's an RWA count of 8. 730 holders, up 30.12% in the last month. Monthly transfer volume down 74.34%. Currently sits at 512.4 million, with monthly active addresses of 551. These are some of the holders that are on there. Janice Henderson Anemoy Treasury Fund, that's 872 million. And then their AACLO fund, 688 million. Now we have their DeFi funds also on there. Their S&P 500 fund, at 3.2 million. So I mean, this is what's being managed on Plume. So don't just. I'm showing you guys this just to I guess to give you a little more to think about when you are looking at charts and you're looking at market caps, right? Like just because the technical analysis doesn't match the fundamental analysis, right? It doesn't mean that you need to then let go of your holdings, right? There's a lot more that goes on. I did watch a video where the CEO of Amazon, you might know him, Mr. Bezos, was talking about how right at the beginning of the dot-com bubble, the Amazon stock didn't match the fundamentals. Their stock went from 70 something dollars down to $6. But I mean, like, Amazon is one of the greatest companies in the world right now. So I just bring this just to show you guys that, like, there's a lot more that's going on with this project that meets the eye. So yeah, have a look at rwa.xyz if you'd like to do that yourself. I guess, like, the last thing that we are going to look at is we are going to look at Ondo. Because it is in a way kind of associated with Plume. There've been a couple of headlines that actually have had both of these companies in the same article. You know what I mean? So I mean, even if we're just looking at their treasury product metrics over here and we're looking at the transfer volume, you can see Plume is right there. Right, Plume is right there, and look at this. That's $502,507,562. That's not insignificant. And this is on Ondo. This is the Ondo US dollar yield, right? Which is a tokenized note for non-US individuals and institutions. The token is secured by a portfolio of short-term US treasuries and bank demand deposits, with assets held by a collateral agent to safeguard holders, right? Basically aims to provide global investors with access to US dollar denominated yield and institutional grade protections, right? So that's the on the US dollar yield, right? And look at this, total asset value up 0.82% in the last 30 days. Currently sits at 2.1 billion. Right? Net asset value of $1.14. 19,000 holders, up 28.33%. The 7-day APY of 3.55%. Look, I am gonna be doing some videos which are gonna be technical analysis on these assets that are on the Plume network, on assets that are being provided by Ondo, on assets that are RWA-esque projects, right? Projects that can provide you yield. And how we're going to do it is we're going to do it the same way that we've been doing pretty much everything so far, right? We're going to have a look at the market cap. We're going to have a look at some fundamental analysis, right? But then we're also going to bring it here and we're going to come and look at the charts, right? And just see, like, with just some of these projects, like, what else is going on, right? This is Mirai Assets Securities. If you don't know what that is, that's an asset manager in South Korea that is going to be on Ondo, right? And look at this. This is their current APY yield, right? That's 4.847%. So I mean, there's a lot of work that's gonna come with the videos that are gonna come in the near future, but it's gonna be worth your while. It's gonna be worth your while. So make sure, if you're not subscribed right now, if there was ever a time for you to subscribe, today is that time, because by the time we get into these videos, you are going to be asking me to explain a lot, like, oh, what do you mean by this, what do you mean by that, how is this moving, why is the price not matching the market cap, why is the market cap not matching the fundamental analysis? And by the time you're asking all of these questions, we're going to be far ahead. You know what I'm saying? So just always gonna come out here and give you guys as much information as I possibly can, and give you a full understanding of how I see these projects, and give you the best possible technical analysis according to like my own understanding and my own education. And yeah, and then you guys can then decide what you want to do with that, whether you want to invest in these projects, whether you want to hold these projects long term, whether you want to look a little deeper, into, as we just looked at, whether you want to look a little deeper into some of these RWA projects, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to get some Ondo USDY yield, you know what I mean? Maybe you want to get some of this Anemoy tokenized Polo diversified credit fund, and you don't know how to go about it. Don't you worry, I got you. But yeah, but that's gonna be the video, longer than most of the videos that we've made. But yeah, but there was a lot that we had to talk about, So yeah, that's gonna be it from me. That's gonna be it for me, man. Make sure you catch me on stream every day, Monday through Friday, as we're trading, the ES futures, because the charts are our life. And again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And from one real world alpha to another, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.